Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I am dating coach Naz, and in today's video, I want to specifically talk about 4 secrets men are missing that are ruining your dating life. So, if you are interested, then please keep on watching. So, the first point that I want to make is to stop overthinking every text that you send. And I've definitely been this person, so I understand. Why this is ruining your dating life is because when you're trying to send a perfect written text, all you're doing is you're basically, making yourself seem anxious and over analytical. And, women, we have a little bit higher intuition than men. And so we can feel your energy. And so women can sense when you're overthinking, and unfortunately, that is a huge turnoff. So my biggest thing is just, what women really want is for a man to have intention. He knows what he wants. He has clarity, all that kind of good stuff. But also they want, especially when you're first getting to know a woman, just be more natural, spontaneous, and make sure the conversation's not so rehearsed and robotic. And that's what happens usually when you're overthinking and you're stuck in your mind. And also overthinking signals that you have a little bit of insecurity, right? You don't feel like you are enough or worthy of this woman. So in order, or also maybe, you are a bit unlucky, or, I don't really believe in unlucky, but there's something that you're doing that is hindering you from attracting the right woman. And maybe you're even doing it unconsciously. You're not doing it on purpose, but it is maybe a pattern. It is a belief that is keeping you in a rabbit hole. And so, making sure that you first work, this is where I always tell all of my clients, yes, dating, love, all of this stuff is great. And, majority of dating coaches suddenly just get you onto the dating app, and they're going to, focus on dating. But my focus, whenever I work with my clients or just anyone in general, I first want to focus on you. How do you perceive yourself? Because the way that you perceive yourself is exactly the kind of person that you're going to attract into your life. So if you don't feel like you're worthy, you don't accept yourself for your flaws, you only accept yourself when you're doing great, but then whenever you're sad, you're depressed, you're hurt, you get frustrated with yourself and you can't, recognize that this is a part of you that needs compassion, that needs love. And sometimes what we do is we unknowingly abandon this part of ourselves. But in reality, this is the part that really needs our love, our care, our attention. Even if you're a man, it's the same thing. Just because you're a man does not mean that you have different rules. Only women need to be compassionate to yourselves, and men can just, avoid how they feel. This is not, regardless if you're a man or woman, you're a human being. So how to fix this is actually, before saying that, instead of overthinking, I want you to focus on being relaxed and being real. And one of the ways you can learn to be relaxed is if you find yourself, getting really anxious when you're on a dating app, or something in your life is causing you to be very anxious. I want you to stop that. I want you to first gather all parts of you, ground yourself. And this is where the meditation, journaling comes in, where, first I want your energy to be right. If you are all chaotic up in there, you're stressed, you're financially unstable, you're having arguments with your friends, or things in your life are not working out. And then suddenly you start dating. You're dating from a place of, your light is going to be a bit dim. And also what's going to happen is that whenever we do this, we are not fully ourselves, right? Whenever we feel like we don't have all parts of ourselves together, we tend to feel insecure. And that is where the anxiety starts coming in as well. So learn to just be relaxed and ground yourself. Keep the messages casual and, not so, you don't want to send a big essay to the woman. especially when you're first getting, to know her. By the way, if you feel like you're struggling with this, I have created a free guide, How to Land a Date in 7 Days. And the reason why I created this is because, without getting too deep into it, is literally just to help men out with communication on dating apps. And I feel like a lot of men struggle with this because us women, I feel like both men and women misunderstand each other many of times. And so I've created a guide which I have used over and over and over again. It has worked for my clients because as a matchmaker, these are the things that I learned myself, and I use it for myself as well. So I know that these tips do work. So if you are interested, I'm going to be launching it very soon. Send me a DM on Instagram. I'm going to have the details down below, but it's literally going to tell you, again, by the way, this is not say this and get a woman and then life is great. No. This is about giving you a little bit of a guidance, a little bit of support, and just showing you how should these things kind of flow. And all the messages, the text that I do have on this document, they need to be personalized to your personality, to how you speak. You cannot be using it, like a robot, just copy and paste. Because again, a woman will feel that. If she hears you sounding differently on a text than in person, she's going to know that. So make sure that all of the text that you send is by yourself. It's authentic, but it's just kind of giving you a little bit of a frame on how things should go. So definitely check it out down below. But things like, let's grab a drink sometime, like keeping it casual, natural, and not so robotic, as I just mentioned. And why this works is because studies show that 70% of women prefer men who keep their communication simple and authentic. When you're calm and you're natural in your approach, you come off as confident, which is way more attractive and way more magnetic to attract the kind of woman that you're looking for. So, and by the way, this does not mean, to look like you're cool and look like you don't like her. And, all of these little games that we talk about has nothing to do with that. It's just putting, it's basically not putting out so much, because that's what sometimes women complain to me about, where they say, there's this great guy that I met, but he just told me all of his problems, all of his life story in one go. And sometimes it puts some woman off, right? And by the way, this is on text. It's not a conversation. And again, this is where I say, texts can get misconstrued all the time. So making sure that while you're texting, especially when you don't know somebody, you don't know their dry humor, you don't know what they really meant, their tone of voice, don't send long messages on text. Now, the second part of this is stop hiding your emotions and acting like you don't have any, which is what I just mentioned, which is the reason is because, bottling up your emotions and acting like you're, that tough act, basically what it does is it does the opposite of what you're intending it to do. It pushes women away like the plague, okay? Now, again, I feel like I have to go back and forth and tell you guys, yes, there are some women that will like this, because these women have the bad boy act is familiar, because it resembles a similarity or familiarity in their childhood. Either their father wasn't really there, so that is what they're attracted to, because you bring those same feelings up for them, because you also are acting exactly how their father is acting, which doesn't always mean that it's going to be a healthy relationship. Yes, you guys are going to connect. Yes, it's going to be fire chemistry, but is it going to lead to a longevity, a long-term, healthy, loving, the soulmate connection? Is it going to have that effect in the relationship? Most probably not. And also, women crave a man who is emotionally available and who is just real. And I'm going to keep saying this until the cows come home. And, if you're always holding back, if you're always, you seem cold, you seem disconnected, then this is not going to be, the woman is really not going to find her safe space in you. She might be in a relationship with you, but she might find that safe space with somebody else. And so this is a really important thing to keep in mind. Now, the most important part here is women want to see that, you have a human side. And this is where I always talk about balancing your emotional openness and maturity, being open-minded to just listen to a new perspective. You don't always have to agree with your woman's opinion or decision, but sometimes you can just accept her for who she is, right? Instead of constantly telling her, hey, I don't agree with this, or giving her feedback when she just needs you to listen. And a part of emotional availability and openness is just listening. Sometimes it doesn't always mean you need to be expressive and start crying. Like, that's not what it means. It just means for you to listen to her. And also, if a woman can be available to your emotions, then, how can you then expect her to build a strong, supportive, meaningful relationship? It's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be more of a superficial relationship without emotional availability or just that connection between both of you. The connection is going to seem shallow, and ultimately, you're going to feel the lack of fulfillment for yourself and also for her, and things will end up, there's going to be frustration, miscommunication, which is going to lead, downhill. So it's very important. It's like the emotional availability, that is the foundation of the house. If you don't have that, even with friends, right? You need friends who understand you, get you. And it's the same in a relationship. The first part of a relationship is friendship. If you're not able to, build that trust, build a bond, the house sinks in the sand. Next time you're feeling vulnerable, share it. So what I would say, instead of hiding it, try saying, for example, I've got a lot on my mind right now, but I'm really enjoying being with you. This builds emotional intimacy because it shows that you're just being real. And why this works, according to psychology today, what they say is men who show vulnerability are seen as trustworthy and attractive. Women want someone who can basically open up, but can also handle themselves maturely and not have, not shut down whenever a woman is trying to connect with you. You just walk away. So this is very, really important to keep in mind as well. Now, the fourth point I would like to make is to stop letting her lead the relationship. And I don't feel like a lot of men have a problem with this, to be honest, because most men do. That's what they're genetically created to do, right? To provide, to protect. And so this is probably for a smaller group of men. The reason why it's ruining your dating life is like, basically, when you let her make all of the decisions, you come across as passive or unsure of yourself. And so women don't want to lead the relationship. They want a man who can confidently take charge of the relationship, of herself. And yes, there are women out there that are super uber independent. And maybe you have more feminine energy than masculine energy, right? And you're okay with having a woman in your life that has more masculine energy. So it really is about asking yourself, what are you open? What do you want in your life? What kind of person are you? And that's basically what I want to say about that point. Now, the secret is leadership isn't about control. It's about showing confidence and decisiveness. Women want a man who can take the reins but still be respectful of our feelings. One of the things I always hear about food, like, hey, what do you want to eat? He's like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? And you guys are like back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes women just want a man like, we're going out here, we're doing this. How to fix this is to take charge, plan the date, pick a time, suggest where you would like to go. And if she suggests another place, that's fine. That's actually really great, because sometimes women also are noticing, are you somebody that tends to control situations, or are you somebody that is able to allow a woman to also give their input and you're open to feedback? And I know it might seem so minute, but again, this is all about behaviors, patterns. And so another thing I would say is to, if she does make the decision for what the place you want to go to, then don't let her make all of the decisions, right? So if she's deciding that, that's when you step in and you decide for you make another decision. And so something along the lines of, how about this great Italian spot that I know? This is great because it shows confidence and you've been there before. Why this also works is because, the Gottman Institute shows that women are more attracted to men who show leadership, because it gives them confidence in the relationship, right? In the relationship's direction. And so it's not about dominating. The woman is just about having the confidence to take the lead and take charge. And that is very sexy for most women. Again, if a woman has been uber independent all her life and she's the one that maybe she's been wronged by a lot of men, and now she's in this mindset of in survival mode. Like, I have to do everything by myself. Only I can save myself. That is it can sometimes put those type of women off when you're taking charge. But sometimes I feel like women like that need to see that there are men out there that are kind, that are genuine, that are, good at communication, that are emotionally available, and they take charge. So, it depends if you both are meant to be together, and maybe your soul is meant to teach her soul that specific lesson, then maybe that's going to work, right? Now, the last but not the least is stop, and I see this all the time, stop being vague with your intentions when you're dating. And I see this all the time because what this does is when you're vague, like, I don't know what I'm really looking for. Like, if it feels good, then I'm going to see, like, this just builds confusion. And, if you don't express what you're looking for, she can't know where she stands, right? And this, again, will only delay a real connection. I don't think any woman finds it attractive when a man doesn't know what the hell he wants, and vice versa. I don't think a man doesn't, if you're looking for a committed relationship, but the woman is giving you mixed signals, it's not sexy. You don't want to move forward with her because you're like, I don't know, does she want to be with me? Does she not want to be with me? It puts you in a limbo and causes confusion. You're like, okay, well, I might as well, go on a date with a woman that really does want to be with me. And so making sure, even if you're thinking in your mind, I just want something casual. I just want to have friends with benefits, whatever it is, be clear about that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong. There's no morality police like going to come after you. You just have that intention. And so say that. Don't pretend, that you are serious and you're looking for a committed relationship, and then suddenly say, oh, I'm not sure if I want to move forward. I'm looking for something a little bit more casual. That is the most frustrating thing that a woman can go through, because it's like, you're not even a man, like, you're going full in, you're putting a heart out on the line, and then suddenly, the person like backs off and says, oh, actually, I don't want to get serious now. The secret here is, you don't have to say, hopefully you don't do this. You don't have to say, I love you right away. You should never do that, because that's called love bombing. Please do not do that. You can still be upfront with what you're looking for in a way that doesn't pressure her. Right? So if you want something serious, communicate it in a calm, honest way. So try saying, I'm really enjoying to get to know you, and I'm looking for something meaningful. Right? So you're telling her, I'm enjoying your company. I'm enjoying to get to know you. And and then you're telling her your intention. I'm looking for something meaningful. Right? So what this does is it kind of allows the woman to see what kind of person you are. And also she sees that you're able to express what your intentions are, because a lot of times both men and women, they struggle to share what their intentions are because they think, oh, it's going to be too much, or that person's going to think I'm being too pushy or whatever it is. But it's like, no, it actually is great that you're able to be honest with your intentions and what you're looking for. And also, this shows you're serious without pushing her away. According to Match.com, 65% of women prefer men who are clear about their intentions. I think the number is way more than that, okay? Being upfront builds trust, eliminates confusion, and it also moves the relationship forward in the right direction. These are kind of some of the pointers that I wanted to bring up to you guys. And so if you are somebody that is ready to break free from, these mistakes and start attracting the kind of woman that you really want, the kind of woman that they're going to be by your side through thick and thin. And this is where, if you have any questions or, you want to find out how to work with me, put that down below. All my details are down below. You can comment down below. And also I would love to find out from you guys what you would like to see next. I want to make sure that the videos I create the videos I create is for you guys. So I want to make sure that your questions are getting answered. So please put them down below. And I hope you guys are having an amazing start of the new year. And I'll see you guys in my next video.